The Deep Space Monitoring Station Hawking 7 drifted silently at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, its quantum sensors reaching into the void beyond our solar system. Inside, Lieutenant Maya Patel stared at her holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the cascade of data streaming past. Something had changed in the background radiation patterns she'd been monitoring for the past 6 months. Computer, run diagnostic sequence Delta 9 on anomaly pattern, she commanded, her voice steady despite the growing excitement. The station's AI complied instantly, transforming the raw data into a three-dimensional representation of space-time distortions. There it was, unmistakable ripples in the fabric of space, heading toward Earth's solar system. Maya's fingers flew across the haptic interface, initiating the protocol she'd hoped she'd never have to use. Priority 1 alert. Pattern Sigma detected. Authentication code. PATL 77 Delta Echo. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility unknown to 99.9% of Earth's population, Commander Sarah Chen stood before the strategic command of the Earth Defense Fleet. The chamber was carved from the bedrock of the ocean floor, its walls lined with quantum computing arrays that maintained humanity's greatest deception. "The Hawking 7 readings are confirmed," she announced, her voice echoing in the circular chamber. "We have multiple artificial objects approaching from the Cassiopeia sector. First contact is no longer theoretical. It's imminent." Admiral James Rodriguez, his dark skin creased with decades of experience, leaned forward. "Time to arrival. Approximately 72 hours, sir." Their propulsion signatures matched the theoretical patterns we've been monitoring from the Centauri observation posts. The chamber erupted in controlled activity. For 3 centuries, humanity had maintained the greatest secret in its history. While the world's populations believed space exploration was limited to primitive chemical rockets and basic ion drives, Earth had developed technologies that would seem like magic to most of its inhabitants. "Initiate Protocol Omega," Rodriguez ordered. "Commander Chen, the Nightshade is yours." Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. The Nightshade wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's ultimate contingency plan, the culmination of centuries of preparation. In orbit around Neptune, automated facilities that had been dormant for decades began to power up. Similar installations around Saturn's moons and in the asteroid belt stirred to life. Earth's defensive grid had been hidden in plain sight, disguised as defunct satellites or simple research stations. On every continent, deep underground facilities began transitioning from standby mode. The surface world continued its daily routine, unaware that beneath their feet, humanity's real space force was preparing for its first true test. The EDF Nightshade rose from its underwater berth, quantum displacement drives allowing it to pass through the ocean and atmosphere without creating a single ripple. The ship was a masterpiece of human engineering. Its hull composed of metamaterials that absorbed or redirected any form of scanning, its weapons systems based on principles of physics that humanity had kept secret from itself. Sarah stood on the Nightshade's bridge, watching Earth recede behind them. Her crew of 300 represented the finest minds humanity had to offer, trained in secret for generations. "Status report," she commanded. "All systems nominal, Commander," reported Lieutenant Commander Jack Harper from the tactical station. "Quantum shields at full capacity, displacement drive operating at optimal efficiency. We're completely invisible to any known form of detection." "Deploy the observer drones," Sarah ordered. Small, autonomous units separated from the Nightshade, each carrying advanced sensor packages. They would be humanity's eyes and ears, gathering crucial intelligence about the approaching visitors. The aliens, whoever they were, would expect to find a primitive civilization still taking its first steps into space. They would find carefully placed evidence supporting this assumption: outdated satellites, basic space stations, and radio transmissions discussing primitive rocket technology. What they wouldn't know was that humanity had detected their civilization centuries ago. Earth's quantum telescopes had watched their development, analyzed their technology, and prepared countermeasures for every weapon in their arsenal. Commander, Maya's voice came through the quantum-encrypted channel from Hawking 7. I'm detecting deceleration patterns. They're preparing to enter the solar system. Sarah nodded, a grim smile playing across her features. Maintain position behind Neptune's magnetic field. Let's see who our visitors are and what their intentions might be. The waiting game began. Earth's surface continued its normal activities, but in secret installations across the planet and throughout the solar system, humanity's real space force stood ready. Centuries of preparation, paranoia, and determination were about to be put to the test. As the alien ships approached the outer solar system, they would scan what appeared to be a relatively primitive civilization. They would detect chemical rockets, basic satellites, and radio waves. They would see exactly what humanity wanted them to see. What they wouldn't detect was the quantum entanglement network connecting every human facility in the solar system. They wouldn't see the advanced shield grid capable of protecting Earth from any known form of attack. And most importantly, they wouldn't see the Nightshade or its sister ships waiting in the shadows of the outer planets. Multiple ships entering the system, Maya reported. Configuration matches theoretical patterns derived from our long-range observations. Detecting energy signatures consistent with matter-antimatter drives and particle beam weapons. Primitive, Jack commented from Tactical. They're still using visible energy emissions for propulsion. Sarah watched the tactical display as the alien fleet moved past Pluto's orbit. They're following standard search patterns, she noted, just as our observations predicted. They think they're being stealthy. The irony wasn't lost on anyone on the bridge. The aliens believed they were sneaking up on a primitive civilization, unaware that every move they made had been anticipated centuries ago. Send the coded update to command, Sarah ordered, and prepare for Phase 2. If they're hostile, they're about to learn that humanity's apparent technological inferiority is our greatest deception. The next few hours would determine whether humanity's first contact with alien life would lead to peace or conflict. Either way, Earth was ready. The silent sentinel had stood watch for centuries, and now its vigil was about to pay off. The alien fleet entered Mars' orbit with what they believed was complete stealth. Their massive ships, each nearly 2 kilometers long, moved with practiced precision. Admiral Kextall of the Collective Exploration Force stood on his command deck, his 6 eyes fixed on the holographic display of the primitive blue world ahead. Final analysis confirms initial scans, his science officer reported. Their technology is primitive. Chemical rockets, basic ion drives, rudimentary artificial satellites. They've barely achieved lunar colonization. Kextall's facial tendrils twitched in amusement. Another species to guide into the collective. Begin standard first contact protocols. Aboard the Nightshade, Commander Chen watched the alien fleet's movements with calculated interest. Their ships were impressive by conventional standards. Antimatter drives, particle beam weapons, and what they considered advanced stealth technology. They're exactly where we predicted they'd be, Lieutenant Commander Harper noted, monitoring the tactical display. Their fleet formation matches all our simulated scenarios. Their arrogance is our advantage, Sarah replied. Deploy quantum markers. Let's get a complete scan of their capabilities. Microscopic probes, invisible to conventional detection methods, scattered from the Nightshade's hull. Using principles of quantum entanglement, they began mapping every detail of the alien vessels without emitting any detectable energy. The alien flagship launched what appeared to be a communication probe toward Earth. Its message, broadcast in multiple frequencies, was typical of species who believed themselves technologically superior. People of Earth, the message began in several Earth languages, clearly compiled from intercepted broadcasts. We come in peace as representatives of the Galactic Collective. We offer you guidance, technology, and a place among the stars. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Right on schedule. Signal command. We're moving to Phase 2. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, Admiral Rodriguez received the transmission. Initiate the response protocol, he ordered. Let's show them exactly what they expect to see. On Earth's surface, carefully prepared responses began broadcasting from various nations. Excitement, fear, confusion, all carefully orchestrated to reinforce the aliens' expectations of a primitive civilization encountering advanced life for the first time. Their ships are moving closer to Earth, Harper reported. They're deploying what appear to be atmospheric sensors. Should we stop them? Not yet, Sarah replied. Let them commit fully to their assumptions. The alien fleet moved with growing confidence. Their sensors detected no weapons capable of threatening their ships, no defenses worthy of concern. They began positioning themselves around the planet, preparing for what they assumed would be a simple demonstration of their superior technology. Admiral Kekstal prepared to deliver the message that would cement his place in collective history. Launch the demonstration probes, he ordered. Show them our power, but remember, no casualties. We want them awed, not terrified. The alien ships launched dozens of small devices toward Earth's major cities. Each probe was designed to create a spectacular-like show, while simultaneously demonstrating the collective's ability to bypass Earth's primitive defenses. That's when humanity sprung its first trap. All probes are within the containment field, Harper announced. Quantum capture nets are ready. Sarah nodded. Execute. In an instant, every alien probe froze in mid-flight, caught in invisible fields that defied conventional physics. On the alien ships, sensors went crazy as their devices simply stopped responding. Impossible, Kekstal's science officer exclaimed. There's no energy signature, no visible technology. They can't have this capability. Sarah opened a channel to the alien fleet, allowing them to see her for the first time. She sat calmly in her command chair, her uniform bearing no resemblance to the military garb the aliens had observed from Earth's broadcasts. Collective vessels, she announced, her words automatically translated by systems that had been preparing for this moment for centuries. You have entered restricted space and attempted to deploy unauthorized devices in Earth's atmosphere. This is your only warning. The alien command deck erupted in chaos. Where is this transmission coming from? Kekstal demanded. Find their ship. Impossible, Admiral. We're detecting no source, no energy signature, nothing. Sarah continued, her voice carrying an edge of steel. Your technological analysis of Earth was precisely what we wanted you to see. Your assumptions about our capabilities were exactly what we expected. You are not the first advanced civilization we have detected, Admiral Kekstal, nor are you the most advanced. The alien admiral's tendrils went rigid with shock at hearing his name. How do you? We have been watching the collective for centuries, Sarah revealed. Every ship you've sent to survey our system has been observed, analyzed, and allowed to report exactly what we wanted you to know. Your current fleet deployment matches our behavioral models perfectly. To demonstrate her point, holographic images appeared on the alien bridge, showing their own fleet movements from angles that should have been impossible to observe. Remember this moment, Admiral, Sarah concluded. Remember that when you thought you were the advanced civilization discovering a primitive world, you were actually the primitive civilization walking into a trap centuries in the making. The question now is, will you choose peaceful contact, or will you force us to demonstrate exactly how primitive your technology really is? Kekstal stared at the image of this human female who had just shattered every assumption his civilization had made about Earth. His response would determine whether this first contact led to peaceful cooperation or something far more dramatic. In the silence that followed, Sarah allowed herself another small smile. Phase 2 had worked perfectly. Now it was time to see whether the collective would learn from their mistake or need a more dramatic demonstration of humanity's capabilities. Either way, the next few moments would reshape the galaxy's understanding of humanity forever. Admiral Kekstal's response came swiftly, though not in the form of words. Across his fleet, weapon systems powered up, shields activated, and ships moved into attack formation. The collective had not become the dominant force in this sector of space by backing down from challenges. If this is some form of primitive deception, he broadcast, you will learn the price of threatening the collective. In the quantum-shielded command center beneath the Pacific, Admiral Rodriguez watched the alien fleet's reaction with grim satisfaction. They're following psychological profile prediction alpha. Commander Chen, you are authorized to proceed with Phase 3. Sarah's voice remained calm as she addressed her crew. All hands, initiate Phase 3 protocols. Lieutenant Commander Harper, deploy the quantum wake generators. Wake generators online, Harper confirmed. Target solutions plotted for all collective vessels. The alien fleet's sensors detected nothing as microscopic quantum devices, already scattered throughout their formation. Activated. Each device began manipulating space-time at a subatomic level, creating distortions invisible to conventional technology. Admiral, the collective science officer shouted. Energy fluctuations in the antimatter containment fields. All ships reporting similar anomalies. Kextol watched in growing horror as his fleet's most powerful weapons began powering down, the carefully controlled antimatter reactions becoming unstable. Impossible. Launch defensive countermeasures. The collective ships released clouds of smart matter designed to disrupt any form of energy attack. But there was no energy to disrupt. The quantum wake generators operated on principles the collective had never imagined possible. Your antimatter containment systems have been compromised, Sarah announced to the fleet. We are currently preventing catastrophic failure through our own containment fields. Be advised that any aggressive action will result in the immediate withdrawal of this protection. To demonstrate her point, one of the quantum wake generators increased its effect slightly. Warning alarms blared across the alien flagship as antimatter containment dropped by 5%. This is your final opportunity. Admiral, Sarah continued, power down your weapons or we will be forced to neutralize your fleet. Deep in the Mars Defense Complex, hidden beneath the planet's surface, Maya Patel monitored the quantum entanglement network. Commander detecting power spikes in 3 collective vessels. They appear to be attempting to modify their weapon systems. Admiral Kextol, Sarah's voice carried a note of disappointment. I had hoped you would choose wisdom over pride. Without warning, the nightshade shed its quantum camouflage. The vessel appeared directly in front of the collective flagship, its dark hull seemingly absorbing light itself. It was smaller than the alien vessels, but its design was unlike anything the collective had ever encountered. By the first stars, Kextol whispered, seeing the human ship for the first time. His sensors, finally able to detect something, went into overdrive trying to analyze its composition. Quantum shields at full power, Harper reported. Phase cannons charge. Target solutions confirmed for all hostile vessels. Sarah stood from her command chair. Admiral, your ships are currently trapped in a quantum wake field. Your faster-than-light capabilities are neutralized, your weapons are destabilized, and your antimatter containment systems exist at our mercy. Look around you. Throughout the solar system, other human vessels dropped their camouflage. They appeared near every collective ship, their dark hulls a stark contrast to the crystalline design of alien vessels. The nightshade is not unique, Sarah explained. It is merely the first of our vessels you have been permitted to see. We have watched your ships enter our system, test our defenses, and prepare for what you assumed would be a simple show of force. Now, we will demonstrate true force. At her command, the human ships activated their phase cannons. Beams of concentrated quantum energy lanced out, not at the collective ships themselves, but at the space around them. Where the beams struck, reality itself seemed to twist. What are they doing? Kextol demanded as his sensors tried to make sense of the readings. His answer came as the first ships attempted to fire their weapons. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes emerged from collective weapons, only to vanish into the distorted space around their vessels. Their own attacks were being trapped in localized space-time distortions. Phase bubbles established around all hostile vessels, Harper reported. They're completely contained. Any energy they release will be trapped in closed temporal loops. Sarah opened a channel to all collective ships. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your shields cannot stop us. Your most advanced technology is centuries behind what humanity achieved before we made first contact. We chose isolation not out of fear or weakness, but because we needed to be certain we could protect ourselves from any threat. The bridge of the Nightshade fell silent as Sarah delivered her final warning. You have 1 standard hour to power down your weapons and prepare for diplomatic contact. If you refuse, we will be forced to demonstrate our more aggressive capabilities. Choose carefully, Admiral. The future relationship between humanity and the collective rests on your decision. In the quantum wakefield surrounding their ships, the collective crews watched in stunned silence as their most powerful weapons proved useless. Everything they had believed about their technological superiority had been proven wrong in less than an hour. Aboard his flagship, Admiral Kextall faced the most difficult decision of his career. His pride demanded resistance, but his intellect, and the survival instinct that had served his species for millennia, told him he was facing something far beyond his comprehension. As the minutes ticked by, tension mounted across both fleets. Humanity had revealed only a fraction of its true capabilities, but it was enough to shatter the collective's confidence. The question now was whether this first contact would end in peaceful dialogue or a demonstration of why humanity had kept its true power hidden for so long. The next hour would determine the course of galactic history. As the deadline approached, Admiral Kextall paced on his bridge, his facial tendrils twitching with agitation. The quantum wakefield still contained his fleet, rendering their most powerful weapons useless. Reports flooded in from every ship, each more disturbing than the last. Admiral, his science officer called out, long-range communications are being restored. We're receiving transmissions from collective command. The message that came through shattered what remained of Kextall's confidence. Multiple collective scout fleets have gone silent in other sectors, his superior reported. Human vessels have been detected throughout collective space. How did we not see them? On the Nightshade, Sarah received her own update from Earth Command. Commander, Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through the quantum link. Diplomatic channels are opening with multiple collective worlds. Several species are requesting immediate peaceful contact. Sarah allowed herself a small nod. The plan was working perfectly. Status of the Earth Defense Grid, she asked. Full activation in progress, Maya reported from her station. Quantum shield generators are online. Planetary defense system is ready for demonstration. The hour was nearly up when Admiral Kextall finally opened a channel to the Nightshade. Commander Chen, he said, his translator struggling to maintain composure. The collective requests. Negotiations. A wise choice, Admiral. Sarah responded. Power down your weapons systems and prepare to receive a diplomatic delegation. As the collective ships began powering down, Sarah gave her next order. Show them why resistance was never an option. Activate the planetary defense grid. Around Earth, what had appeared to be normal satellites and space debris began to move. Thousands of quantum generators activated simultaneously, creating a visible shield of energy around the planet. Similar shields appeared around Mars, Venus, and key installations throughout the solar system. By the first stars, Kextall whispered, watching the display. The entire system is fortified. Admiral, Sarah said, what you're seeing is only our defensive capability. Allow me to demonstrate why the collective's assumption of technological superiority was premature. At her signal, hidden installations across the solar system revealed themselves. Massive shipyards emerged from within Mercury's crater shadows. Construction facilities appeared in Jupiter's atmosphere. Mining operations larger than anything the collective had ever built became visible in the asteroid belt. Impossible, Kextall's science officer muttered. These facilities, the energy readings, they're more advanced than anything in known space. Humanity learned long ago that true power lies not in what you show, Sarah explained, but in what you keep hidden. While the collective expanded through space, displaying its technology for all to see, We built in secret. Every alien ship that passed through our system saw exactly what we wanted them to see. The displays showed more human ships emerging from quantum camouflage throughout the solar system. Each vessel represented technology centuries beyond anything the collective possessed. Your civilization builds ships to dominate space, Sarah continued. We built ships to understand it. Your weapons manipulate energy. Ours manipulate reality itself. You saw our chemical rockets and assumed we were primitive. We saw your antimatter drives and chose not to show you how far beyond them we'd gone. In the quantum-shielded command center, Admiral Rodriguez received reports from human vessels throughout collective space. Multiple species are withdrawing from the collective, he informed Sarah. They're requesting protection and technological exchange. The collective's unity was built on perceived technological superiority, Sarah noted. Now that perception has been shattered. Kextel watched as more revelations appeared on his screens. Human outposts discovered throughout collective space, monitoring stations that had watched their civilization for centuries, quantum communication networks that had intercepted their most secure transmissions. How? He finally asked. How did you achieve all this in secret? Fear, Sarah replied simply. Humanity's greatest strength is that we never forgot to be afraid. Every advancement in our history came from preparing for worst-case scenarios. We split the atom because we feared our enemies would do it first. We reached space because we feared being trapped on one world. And we built all this because we feared what we might find among the stars. As if to emphasize her point, more human ships appeared near collective worlds, each carrying the same message. The age of collective dominance was over. Your civilization expanded through space, confident in its superiority, Sarah explained. We expanded through space assuming everything we met might be superior. You built weapons to demonstrate power. We built defenses to survive extinction. Every piece of technology you see here was created not to dominate, but to ensure humanity's survival against exactly this scenario. The quantum wake fields around the collective ships began to dissipate. You are free to maneuver, Sarah announced. But be advised, any aggressive action will be met with immediate response. Your weapons are centuries behind our defenses. Your shields are useless against our technology. And your understanding of physics itself is incomplete. In the following hours, as diplomatic channels opened between Earth and various collective worlds, the true scope of humanity's preparation became clear. They had not just built a defense force. They had created a shadow civilization, hidden in plain sight throughout known space. The galaxy was changing. The collective's power structure, built on technological superiority, was crumbling. And humanity, the seemingly primitive species they had hoped to guide, was revealing itself as the most advanced civilization known to exist. The question now was, what would humanity do with its newfound public position in galactic affairs? 1 month after the collective's failed show of force, Commander Sarah Chen stood in the newly constructed Terran Diplomatic Center on Luna. Through the quantum-filtered windows, she could see Earth rising over the lunar horizon, its planetary shield now visible as a subtle iridescent shimmer. The latest reports are in, Lieutenant Commander Harper said, joining her at the window. 17 more species have withdrawn from the collective. They're all requesting membership in the Terran Concordat. The Terran Concordat, humanity's answer to the collective. Not an empire built on military might, but an alliance founded on shared knowledge and mutual protection. The name had been chosen carefully, centuries ago, by the same visionaries who had initiated Earth's hidden preparation for this moment. And the core worlds? Sarah asked, though she already knew the answer. Still in chaos, the revelation that humans have been present in their systems for centuries. It shattered their entire power structure. In the months since first contact, humanity had systematically revealed its true presence throughout known space. Hidden research stations, cloaked observation posts, quantum communication relays, a shadow network that had monitored galactic civilization for generations. The Terran Diplomatic Center's main chamber was filled with representatives from dozens of species. Some were former collective members. Others were civilizations that had long existed on the margins of galactic society. All of them were here because humanity had demonstrated something unprecedented. Absolute power wielded with absolute restraint. Commander Chen, Admiral Rodriguez called, approaching with a group of alien diplomats. The Helios delegation has some interesting proposals about quantum physics research. Sarah noted the way the aliens looked at her, not with fear, but with curiosity and respect. They had seen humanity's technology in action, witnessed their capabilities, yet not a single shot had been fired, not a single life lost. "Your species," one of the delegates said, their translator conveying a tone of wonder. "You could have conquered the galaxy at any time. Why reveal yourselves now?" Sarah's response was measured, the words chosen carefully. "Because true civilization isn't built on conquest. We hid our advancement not out of fear, but out of hope. Hope that when we finally revealed ourselves, it would be to a galaxy ready for cooperation rather than domination." In Earth orbit, the former collective flagship, now a diplomatic vessel, docked with one of humanity's revealed shipyards. Admiral Keckstall, now serving as the liaison between the fragmenting collective and the rising Concordat, watched in amazement as humans and aliens worked together, sharing knowledge that his civilization had never dreamed possible. "Your quantum physics are revolutionary," his science officer admitted, studying data from a shared research project. "But these advances, they should have been detected. The energy signatures alone. That was our first breakthrough," Sarah explained. "Not the manipulation of energy, but the ability to hide it." Every major human advancement began with the question, how do we keep this hidden until we need it? Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in the command center that had guided humanity's preparation for centuries, Admiral Rodriguez addressed the United Earth Council. The massive chamber, once filled with military commanders planning for first contact, now hosted scientists, diplomats, and representatives from a dozen alien species. "Phase 4 is proceeding as projected," he reported. "The transition from hidden observation to open cooperation is exceeding our most optimistic models." The Council's chairwoman nodded. "And the deeper revelations? Still secured. What we've shown the galaxy is remarkable. But as planned, it's only the surface of our true capabilities." In her private quarters aboard the Nightshade, Sarah reviewed the classified reports. Humanity's revealed technology had shocked the galaxy, but it was merely the first layer of their advancement. The quantum physics they now shared with their allies were revolutionary, but they were decades behind what Earth actually possessed. "Commander," Maya's voice came through the quantum link. "The first joint research teams are requesting access to the Jupiter facilities." "Approved," Sarah replied. "Begin the knowledge-sharing protocols as planned. Remember, advancement level 1 only." This was humanity's true strategy, not just revealing their power, but carefully controlling how that knowledge was shared. Each technological revelation was planned. Each capability demonstrated was precisely chosen. The galaxy would advance, but at a pace humanity could monitor and guide. In the depths of space, where the light of stars grew dim, other human ships maintained their hidden vigil. The revealed fleet was impressive, but it wasn't the extent of Earth's forces. Other technologies, other capabilities remained concealed, ready if needed, but hopefully never necessary. "We're receiving the first technical exchange proposals," Harper reported. "The Helios scientists are particularly interested in our quantum communication systems." Sarah nodded. "Approve the basic principles sharing. Let them work towards understanding the foundation before we reveal the more advanced applications." This was humanity's new role. Not conquerors, not hidden watchers, but guides. They had spent centuries preparing for the worst while hoping for the best. Now they would lead the galaxy not through force, but through wisdom born of cautious preparation. The age of secrets was ending, but not all at once. Humanity would share its knowledge, but carefully, responsibly. They had learned through their own history the dangers of advancing too quickly, of gaining power before gaining wisdom. As Earth rose over the lunar horizon, its quantum shield shimming in the sunlight, Sarah Chen reflected on the path that had brought them here. Humanity had hidden its light not out of fear, but out of responsibility. Now they would shine that light across the galaxy, not to blind, but to illuminate. The silent sentinels would remain, watching and protecting, but no longer in total secrecy. A new age had begun, an age of controlled revelation, measured advancement, and careful guidance. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly as humanity had planned all along.